You know that feeling, right? You're in a conversation, you've got this great idea, this perfect thought, but you just can't find the right words in English to get it out. Well, in this explainer, we're going to give you the keys to unlock all of that, so you can go from just listening to really confidently speaking.
It is so frustrating. The words are right there on the tip of your tongue, but they just get stuck. You know exactly what you want to say, but that bridge between your brain and your mouth feels like it's out. This explainer, we're building that bridge for you. Okay, so let's kick things off with the absolute foundation of any good chat, sharing what's on your mind. We're going to look at how you can get your point of view out there with confidence, making sure your ideas are always part of the conversation. These two are your bread and butter. Honestly, they're like the Swiss Army knife of expressing yourself. They are simple, they're direct, and they work in pretty much any situation you can think of. So never ever be afraid to just start with a clear, powerful, I think.
Now let's get a little more sophisticated. Think of I think as your everyday go-to phrase. But in my opinion, that's like putting on a slightly nicer shirt for the conversation. It signals that you're in a more formal setting, like a work meeting, and it just adds a little bit of weight to what you're saying.
And here's another level up. I think is for your everyday thoughts, kind of like a thought bubble over your head. But I believe, oh, that's different. I believe comes from the heart. It's for your core values, the big ideas that you really stand for. It has so much more power behind it. Okay, this one is super useful for those tricky situations. When you need to say something that's maybe a little hard to hear, starting with, to be honest, is like a gentle warning. It prepares the other person for your real candid thoughts and shows you're sharing them because you're being sincere, not mean. But hey, a good conversation isn't a monologue, right? It's more like a dance. So expressing yourself is only half the battle. How do you actually respond when someone else shares their opinion? Let's dive into that right now. All right, let's start with the basics. When you're totally on the same wavelength with someone, a simple, clear, I agree does the trick perfectly. And what if you're still thinking it over? I'm not sure is a great way to show you're listening, but you haven't made up your mind just yet. And now, for the part that can feel a little scary, disagreeing. But here's the secret. Disagreeing well isn't about starting a fight. It's about exploring ideas. In fact, a little bit of respectful disagreement is often what makes a conversation truly interesting.
And here is your magic formula for doing it without any awkwardness. It's just 2 simple steps. First, you show them you heard them. Start with something like, I see your point. Then you gently offer your own idea. But I think, see? It's a recipe for a great, respectful discussion, not an argument.
Okay, moving on. A huge part of getting to know people is sharing what you're into, what brings you joy. Our tastes are what make us, well, us. So let's talk about how to chat about your passions and preferences.
So, liking something isn't just a simple yes or no, is it? It's a whole spectrum. You've got your casual like. Then there's enjoy, which is a bit stronger. And then all the way at the top, you've got love, which is for the things you are truly passionate about. And here are a few of those in action. See the difference? And I gotta say, I'm a big fan of is a fantastic phrase. It's so good for showing your enthusiasm for a team, a band, a hobby, whatever. What's something you're a big fan of? Keep that in mind.
Of course, life isn't all sunshine and rainbows. We don't like everything. And just like with liking things, there are different levels of intensity to our dislikes. Knowing how to express them is just as important. Whoa, hate. Now that is a strong, powerful word. It's right at the top of the dislike scale. You really want to save this one for things that just drive you crazy. If you use it too much, you might come across as a little negative. So save it for when you really, really mean it. Yeah, think of hate as a sledgehammer. Most of the time, you just don't need it. For most everyday things, a softer phrase like, I don't really like, or my personal favorite, I'm not a fan of, works perfectly. It gets the point across politely, without any drama. So far, we've been all about you, your thoughts, your feelings. But the real secret to amazing conversations, it's when you bring other people into it. Let's look at how you can turn the spotlight around and invite others to share. This is your classic all-purpose conversation starter. What do you think of this coffee? What do you think of that new show on Netflix? It's simple, it's open-ended, and it invites the other person to give you more than just a yes or no answer. Now, this question goes a little deeper.
When you ask someone how they feel about something, you're asking for their emotional reaction, their gut feeling. It shows you care about how a topic is impacting them personally, not just what they think about it logically. And if you want to have a more serious, maybe even more professional discussion, this is your go-to. Asking for someone's opinion signals that you're looking for a thoughtful, well-reasoned answer. It's a great way to show you respect their intellect. Phew, we have just loaded up your conversational toolkit with a ton of great phrases. But, tools are only useful if you actually take them out of the box and start using them. This is where knowledge turns into a real skill.
And as you're practicing, don't forget this last piece of the puzzle. Expressing yourself isn't just about what you think, it's about how you feel. Sharing your inner world, letting people know if you're excited or feeling a bit down, that's how you make real, genuine connections.
So here's your homework. Your challenge is to pick just one, that's it, just one phrase from this whole explainer, and try to use it in a conversation today. It doesn't have to be perfect. The goal is just to start, because every time you do, that confidence is going to grow, and you'll start having way more fun in your English conversations.